Hey guys, Scott Hilton, Scott Talks. Going to talk about, we're going to talk about the Roku versus the Apple TV in the summer of 2025. Which is best for you? I think they're both great. We've got a Roku Ultra here, bigger box. It's not the Lite, it's the regular Ultra, and an Apple TV latest generation box. I think it has a 128 storage, but the other storage is fine. It's way overpowered for what it does, surfing Netflix and stuff. You'd be great with it. The one thing you notice about the Apple display, what do you see? Apps, folders. You can make folders if you want. Games. You can sync your PlayStation or Xbox controller to it. There are no ads. At the time of filming, the 18th of June, 2025, there are no ads. I was out, Ocala, Florida, riding my bike, got all hot and sweaty. Thought I'd give you a video. Why not, right? But there are no ads. You got the little stuff for Prime Video. You own Prime Video. You know, Netflix, Max shows you stuff. I don't have Max at the moment. Sometimes Netflix will show you stuff and sometimes it won't. But Prime Video, you go up, you can see the different things that are on Prime Video. Just all sorts of stuff to watch. Knives Out, all right. We've got Mobland is great. Pierce Brosnan, now that Yellowstone's gone, Mobland's great. Pierce Brosnan, Tom Hardy, Helen Mirren, can't beat it. YouTube, the standard. What's the most popular streaming app you're going to have? Is it Netflix? No, it's YouTube. Everyone has YouTube. Apple TV Plus. Now that it's summer and the network stuff's over with, get Apple TV Plus if you've never had it. Unbelievable. Watch Ted Lasso. The new thing is called Stick with Owen Wilson. Great show, kind of like Ted Lasso. Shrinking, kind of like Ted Lasso, because the team behind Ted Lasso did Shrinking. It has Harrison Ford as a star of a TV show. Great. We've got the studio here with Seth Rogen.
My job is to ruin them.
And we can't have too much audio because they'll give us a strike. So we're going to turn that down if we can. The Roku remote usually can do it, and the Apple remote can do it a little bit. There you go. It works for most TVs, and this is a sound bar, Sonos. Go back button, you're back. You go up, go to the left. There's Your Friends and Neighbors with John Hamm. Yeah, John Hamm. Apple has the money to do great stuff. The Buccaneers, I think it's the second season. Murderbot's new show. Echo Valley. There's Stick with Owen Williams. Oh no, we got an Alexa thing talking. Fountain of Youth, great little movie. If you love the National Treasure movies, you're going to like that. Just all sorts of stuff. Put the back button again. I want to show you something else cool. Double click back button. You get a screensaver. One of your options is Snoopy. You're going to have a lot of different Snoopy screensavers. A lot of good stuff. Apple TV is great. Let's go to Roku. Roku, my wife loves her Roku. She does not have an iPhone, so she's not in the Apple ecosystem. I am, so I've got this. And anytime I want to search with my Apple TV, instead of tapping and moving around, there's a way to do Apple TV where you can get all the letters right over here or all the letters right away across there. Whichever one, it comes default across. But I changed mine to here if I had to use it. But I can just grab my phone. Once you start typing, it pops up on your phone and you finish typing on your phone whatever you're looking for. Or you could ask Siri to look for it or whatever. But this is the Roku, #1 streaming device. I get the Ultra all the time, so I have less of the death scroll of the little circle of doom get some decent internet, not a lot. You 200, 400 is fine. You don't need a terabyte. Is it, 100 would probably be fine for most people, but just to be sure, 2 to 4. And it depends on the other devices in the house they have to share. But this is a Roku device. A little different than Apple, but this is the most popular device. Very easy to use. If your grandmother needed a streaming device and finally they got rid of cable, which everyone should do, you get the Roku. It's easy. It's easiest for grandma, and you can help her. And we love having both, because she can have her remote. I've got my remote. If something goes wrong, if one of these apps is acting a little zonky and doesn't want to work, we just switch to the other device and use that app, because one of them's going to work. And it's no big deal. But she's got hers. When she goes on YouTube, it's on her YouTube because she used it last on the Roku, not the Apple. And if I used but she can switch. She can, you can grab this and her remote gets pushed somewhere. She can watch on the other device. It's no big deal because YouTube lets you pick users. But Disney is slowly merging with Hulu, so always get Disney with Hulu. It's only an extra $1. They're making it real easy. And if you love ESPN, you can get that added on too. And it'll all be in the Disney app. You go on Disney Plus, on your Roku, get a nice logo, which is actually there to kind of stall while it's loading stuff up. There's the circle. It's only a second. And that's my wife's. We'll go on hers, because we don't want to mess things up, do we, guys? No. And there's some stuff on Disney Plus, but you can see they have Star Wars, Marvel stuff, Pixar, the basic Disney stuff, National Geographic, Hulu, and ESPN. So most of your ABC stuff is Hulu. Fox stuff is Hulu. But they're slowly merging the lines between FX stuff. There it is, Hulu. And they're going to have a new version of ESPN this fall, so you want to keep that out. A lot of you might have YouTube Plus Live TV for $70, $80 to watch all your sports. Well, now they're going to have Fox One and ESPN to bring you a big chunk of sports over here and over here. And hopefully it'll be a little cheaper than YouTube TV, but we have to wait and see. And you can just pick what you want. Are you watching the college games? Are you watching just the professional games? You're going to have to look around because everyone's splitting it up. One of the big mistakes they complained about with Apple was they got a hold of all that soccer stuff. And it doesn't make for great, let's discover this soccer stuff. If you don't have Apple TV Plus, no one's discovering your soccer stuff. So they're doing like the wrestling. The wrestling, professional wrestling is everywhere. They're on Netflix right now. They're on different apps, spread out, different channels, even a cable channel. They're all over the place because they want you to find wrestling and get used to watching wrestling. And whether you're on Netflix or you're on this service or that service, they want you to find it. Now, professional football, Amazon made that great deal for Thursday night football. They've got Thursday night football for years now. So you're going to want to have that Amazon Prime account. And Abbott Elementary is excellent. You got to check it out. And she's been watching reruns of Buffy and Angel. Little guilty pleasure. But your strategy, all these apps pretty much are available on Apple or Roku. Most of them. Roku has more. Fire devices have more than Apple. Apple gets all the big apps that they need. They will not have one thing that stands out, the Roku channel. Apple will not have that. It's a popular free streaming service like Tubi, like Pluto, where it just has commercials. It's like live TVs, like cable, but they have some on-demand stuff too and a few original things. But it gives you all sorts of neat stuff, and right now, according to Nielsen ratings, Roku is bigger than Tubi and Pluto TV. And both of them do about the same thing. They've got all these different shows you can watch. They have guides, search, live TV channels, live TV guides, trending sports, on now Major League Baseball channel, TV series, My wife loves Heartland, and she watches little Simon the Cat videos with our cat. Army House of Walker, remember that? Castle, Bones, Succession. If you get Max, see the dollar sign, you got to pay to get Max to get it, because Roku wants to sell you other services. And these are all Max-based shows you can get. You got some Great American Baking Show, just all sorts of stuff, kids stuff, old stuff, recently new stuff. And they have a few originals. And they recommend stuff. You can get rid of these recommendations under the settings. And you TV on and off, you can get rid of that. And you can get rid of that. And you can get rid of that if you want to. But it's neat to have. Here's some news apps if you want some local news. I want my local news. I don't want to cut cable. Well, you can get tons of news on YouTube. Tons. You can get new shows sometimes. Like the first episode might be free on YouTube just to watch with commercials. And maybe the last season of the whole thing might be on YouTube. Look around for stuff like that. Get some freebies. And Fox owns Tubi, and they had the Super Bowl on Tubi. And Paramount CBS owns Pluto TV. So you'll see more of that CBS stuff on there. And you might catch maybe the last season of something. You might catch a tracker or something like that. News On, great live stuff. Local Now, great for that. They got the live guide that you saw on the Roku channel. You can also get an app for it, so you just hit it and it takes you straight to the live guide, which is the Roku channel again. And there we are. And it has the lineup, what's on now, you can watch. It's just great background stuff. And for the record, General Hospital is just old General Hospitals, okay? Just all sorts of stuff. Recents, Murder, She Wrote, Heartland, Ion has MacGyver, Gunsmoke. Pluto TV has a lot of Star Trek stuff because it's Paramount owned, Paramount CBS. And one thing to look for, well, we found, actually I found two, but on the Apple TV I only found one, is a local news channel. You click on it, you want to watch the local news, look for an app, type in your city and see if you can find a news app. You might be able to. We're finding Orlando, we're here in Ocala. If you look at the map, it's close. Technically, Gainesville's a little closer, but there were no Gainesville apps that I could find. But you get, there's the news, a little bit recorded earlier because it's not live right now. But you can sit back and watch the news. Push your home button on your Roku, boom, you're back at home. And there's live TV, which is the Roku channel again. Featured free, sports, give you a lot of sports content, what to watch. They give you some recommendations, daily trivia, streaming store. You know, what kind of stuff can you get in the Roku? There's Max, MGM Plus, if you were to pay for that through Roku, because they want you to get the cut. But you can get it through other sources. Amazon has it, Apple has it, Google has it. Lifetime, I'm familiar with that. BritBox is kind of like British shows, and Acorn is like British shows, Irish shows, Australian shows, type like that. And Curiosity Stream is just tons of documentaries, tons. Up Faith and Family has more wholesome family type stuff. Discovery Plus, most of you know that. Discovery Channel, Animal Planet, all that good. Magnolia Network with the Gaineses. Tons of that. Now most of the Discovery Plus is on Max or HBO Max. But if you're missing some things, you're like, well, where's the first season of this? You know, they're not going to put it all on there. Okay, not anymore. It costs too much money. But you might find more of it just on Discovery Plus. But I would just get Max and call it a day and enjoy your Discovery content that's there. HBO Max, right? There's Acorn. And it would have a lot of, let's see if it'll give us anything. That's the kind of stuff for Acorn if you're British in different countries. Murdoch Mysteries, many of you have heard of that. Doc Martin, very popular. So the strategy, there's 8 big streaming services to look at. Disney Plus, get it with Hulu, ABC, especially during the months But the networks are there. Networks end in May usually. Start again a little bit in September, but really October. I would wait till October to get it, and then you can binge watch like you're on Netflix and catch up. And your ESPN. Clicked on it. Sorry about that. You can blend it all here. It all is located here. So we shy away from just getting Hulu because at I think it's $9.99 or $10.99, you get Hulu and Disney Plus, and they're merging and switching things around, and you really want it all. That's the way they had it in Europe now. They started with that in Europe. They had it called Star instead of Hulu over there, but they had everything merged as soon as it came out. Prime Video, you can pay for it during the summer. It's great because it's not network. Or if you have Prime shipping, it's free. You just watch the ads. And I think it's like $2.99 if you want to go into your account and check. And you can get it ad free if you want to do that. I got a local news app from Orlando I can enjoy if I want to sit back and just veg out. Paramount Plus, we have it through Walmart Plus, free with Walmart Plus, but we pay the extra $60-some a year for the with Showtime version. And with Showtime gets you all that CBS content, which is the #1 network in the United States. Gets you all that Showtime content with all those great shows. It gets you ad-free. It gets you several local news stations in bigger cities. And I think in Florida it's Miami's. And a lot more live sports, more live news, more stuff going on, more options with Showtime. And since it's nice to have one thing that's ad-free, besides Apple TV Plus, which is still ad-free as the recording of this. Apple still has no ads on the Apple device and no ads on Apple TV Plus. It doesn't have commercials yet. I'm sure one day. But they have great content. You can't beat it. Highest quality. They have, CODA was the Academy Award for Best Picture a couple of years ago. It was an Apple TV Plus movie. They released it in the theater briefly just so they could get nominated, and they won. They spend a lot of money on stars. You saw John Hamm. They get the right producers, the writers. They spend the extra money and put out great product. So you can't go wrong. If you've never had it, you got to try it out for this summer. Get it for a couple months and just binge and watch everything you can, because they don't have as much content as Netflix, but they don't need as much content. They got great stuff. Peacock is NBC. They have a little deal where, like Paramount, if you spend for a little premium, I think it's Peacock Premiums with ads, Peacock Premium Plus, maybe it's called, is no ads, and you get a little more live sports, you get a little more local news stations, a couple of those. It depends on where you live, if it's closest to you or not. And, you get a little bit more, but Peacock really doesn't have a lot. They've got Yellowstone. They bought the rights. It would have been on Paramount. CBS owned Yellowstone. But when Peacock came out, they were supposed to have the Olympics, all that. COVID messed that up. They didn't have a hit show, really. They took The Office back from Netflix. But they got the rights to Yellowstone for big bucks. So Paramount said, okay, you can have Yellowstone. We'll just make Yellowstone prequel shows like 1883 and 1923 and all sorts of great stuff from Taylor Sheridan, the creator of Yellowstone. He's put out like 6-7 shows already. They're brilliant. They're all great. And the new one will be 6666, which is kind of a spinoff of Yellowstone. If you remember, they drove all that cattle to Texas to the 4-6 ranch. That's where it's going to be. And Jimmy's going to be in it. And he's the narrator, if you have audiobooks, for the new Hunger Games book. He's doing a good job. I'm enjoying it. So Netflix, everyone knows Netflix, #1 streaming service in the world. Everyone gets Netflix. If you're just cutting the cord, just get Netflix and try it out, get used to it, and get a feel for it. You might find some old NCIS shows you can catch up from a season or two ago. That's probably the deal. Most of these things that they have, like NBC content, the NBC shows on Wednesday night, it'll be on Peacock Thursday, okay? You can watch it Thursday. And when you get it on something like several seasons on Netflix, even if you don't get all the seasons, catch up on the last few seasons, whatever's there. But they'll be like a season or two behind. Like Outlander was on Starz. Starz, the only thing, they have the Power stuff, But Stars had Outlander, and my wife would not spend the money to watch the next season. And she goes, I'll just wait for it to come on Netflix. I said, okay. And now they finished Outlander, and they're doing, I think, a prequel show or something. And you can get music apps on both of these services. Great. And you get a sound bar. You've got the best music thing in your house if you don't have an old stereo system. But see, there's Discovery Plus, Crunchyroll's for anime, a lot of kids like that. Angels, kind of a family shit thing like Faith and Family. Red Bull's got lots of crazy sports action. That's fun to have. That's free. But you pay for GM Plus if you want to. We had it once and we just never got it again. Vivo is music videos. Amazon Music, you get it free with your Amazon Prime, but you can also get a premium version where you can handpick songs and stuff. Pandora, same thing, free, but you can get some hand-picked stuff. Apple has great content. It's right up there with Spotify. TuneIn has a lot of radio stations, and iHeart has a lot of radio stations you can pick, or you can pick just pop music or whatever. Spotify is the king of music, along with Apple. And Spotify, they say, has the best playlist and the best algorithms in the computer. They have a DJ that's computer-generated AI that says, hey, and he'll say, hey, Scott, here's some music you may want to listen to. And I was like, oh, cool. And I'll listen to that. But Pluto TV, Haystack News is neat. Put it on your phone first. Put a little password in and everything. So you can set up, you go into settings, you can handpick types of news stories you want to listen to and see. And there's another section that also helps you pick types of stuff, and it picks your area you're in so it can find more local stuff for you. Haystack News, I love it, Haystack News. We're just trying out Fox Weather. It's kind of neat. Usually I look at my phone for weather, so I don't care. And a lot of you probably don't do local news anyway. You look at social media or YouTube for your local news. It's not a big deal. Tubi, Movies Anywhere was a neat idea. It pulled, like, if you have movies on Apple and movies, I think Amazon has our other movies. And you keep it up to date, it'll have all your movies there for you. CW is free. The CW network, you've heard of that. It's free. It airs the next day. Has a lot of commercials. You watch the commercials and you watch your CW shows. There's a new Sherlock and Daughter, Wild Cards, things like that. PBS, also free. A lot of stuff free, but they also have PBS, I think it's Masterpiece. What is it called? I think there's a version of it on Amazon called Masterpiece, but I think it's PBS. That's our station here locally. Spotlight, maybe? There's some live PBS stuff. I want to find something they don't let you see. They got a lot of stuff you can see. All these great CBS shows. Live TV not available. PBS live stream help, blah, 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 broadcast area for that. We'll look into that later. What else we got? There's something with a star on it. Start watching nature, right? There it is. Let's see if we can watch that, and it'll probably tell us. Get Passport, that's what it's called. I think Masterpiece is the Amazon version where they give you a lot of extra stuff, but people say Passport gives you the most extra stuff. And anything missing that you love on PBS would be on Passport. You make a donation to PBS and you get Passport with all the stuff. But it's still free, and there's a PBS Kids app for the kids. Something safe for the kids to watch. It's PBS Kids. Roku has a little kids area. Check in. Let's check it. Streaming store. Let's see if we can find kids real quick. Got any kids stuff where you can look at? Crime, that's family. Nope. There's the new Suits, which didn't turn out to be that great. Will Trent's great. It's on Hulu. And that Yellowstone's a documentary. Food stuff. Well, there's a lot of kids stuff. I made a video of it. You can look into that. But she loves the Roku. She loves the simplicity. Just up, down. You want to move an app, you just push the little star button. Move app. Move app to top. Check for updates. We can check for an update. Let's push that. Disney Plus, you got an update. It usually updates by itself. All great stuff. And every bit of it except the Roku channel is on your Apple TV device. If you don't want these little crazy ads over here. Now, the general rule, if you're watching a show and all of a sudden it starts an ad, if it's for another show like on Apple TV Plus, like they had Murderbot, if all of a sudden you're seeing a commercial for Murderbot and self-promotion, everyone does that. That does not count as an ad, okay? It's self-promotion, everyone does it. If it's a live show or sports, you're getting ads, okay? You're going to get some kind of ads probably. So even if you're ad-free, you're getting them with that kind of stuff. That's expensive to do, and everyone cheats and does ads with that kind of stuff, okay? So they're both great devices. The new Google device that replaced the Chromecast is a great device. They're saying the new or something they sell at Walmart has got the specs to be a great device. I haven't seen any reviews on it yet. But I recommend, try to spend 50, 60 bucks. Try to get something with a decent processor that won't have circle of death constantly reminding you your internet's not up to grade. Don't get a terabyte of internet from whoever you're getting your stuff from. You don't have to get it from the cable company anymore. You can get it from your phone service if the signal's strong in your house. Now, our house has some kind of metalling in the roof that already interferes with phone signal. We're still far away. So they say, well, just use Wi-Fi calling. I'm like, great. Okay, thanks. So we have a place here at the house that does the internet for us. And we got the basic minimum because it's easy to go up. It's easy to go in and say, hey, we want to raise the internet a little bit. That's easy. But if you're already up here, bunch of internet, they're going to give you the runaround about going down and not paying them as much next month. So you don't want to do that. You just want to go slow, give it a shot, and if it's not enough, start at 100, 200, 300, 400, whatever. And you should be able to do it with a couple of devices around the house. Everyone's on tablets, everyone's on computers. If you're not gaming, high-tech gaming, or doing super tech stuff that requires for work, you should be fine. You should just be fine. Just get it. Cut the cord from cable. 1.0 is cutting the cord from cable. Telling them, we're going to give back all these boxes. We'll keep this router in this, what's the other thing? Anyway, they keep the router and the modem. Thank you. And you're good. Keep that and you're good. Just send me a bill for that Wi-Fi stuff and internet stuff, and then we're good. Cutting the cord 2.0 is telling cable, here's your box, here's your router. I just went with Verizon or T-Mobile, and I'm getting it through my phone company. Tried it out, it's great, good. Or you're getting fiber optic from AT&T or something. Or you're getting satellite. You're way out in the boonies, you're getting satellite. So maybe Starlink or something like that. But usually you don't want to go with satellite if you can get the other options. Okay, if you're good with the other options, you should get the other options for now, because the satellites are still a little slower, may not be as reliable, and could be a harder hit if a big storm comes by. You'd be like, where's my satellite? So that's it. So I love my Apple TV. But I'll play with the Roku. I'll do Roku. But I've got there's the back of the TV had a place for more high intensity 4K, a little bit more oomph to it. I plugged it in the Apple TV. And with a thicker cable, I asked the guy, I said, this one's thicker so it's better? He goes, yeah. Okay, we're plugging that in the Apple TV and give my wife the other one. Don't tell. So there's the studio with Seth Rogen, Friends and Neighbors, Buccaneers. We saw that earlier, and Murderbot. So if you click on Apple TV, we got the sound down, so we should be all right. F1 movie. is going to be only in theaters July the 27th, but eventually it'll be on Apple TV. They help produce and and it shows me a couple things we've been watching. Stick, Resident Aliens, a guilty pleasure on Peacock. Well, the wife loves Abbott Elementary. We've been watching, trying to catch up on Bosch Legacy. Mobland's great. Shrinking, Apple TV. Wild Cards, CW. Deadlock's just a crazy show from, I think, New Zealand or Australia kind of area. It's all right, and we hadn't watched it in months. We watched another episode. Murderbot started on its own, and we didn't really watch it yet. Silo, we've been watching season 2. We're getting into that. NCIS, of course, great show. We're still catching up, trying to knock out the last of the Fire Country. We did finish Fire Country. Now, episode 20, that probably was the end of the season. Elsbeth, good show, only on 13, got a few more to go. Poker Face is excellent, excellent. Peacock has a hit. Poker Face is a hit. So if you get that, Slow Horses, it takes a little while to get into it until you realize Gary Oldman's character is the best spy in the game. He just has that I don't give a damn attitude because he gets all the flunky agents when MI5 has jobs that they don't want to get their hands dirty or be known that they screwed up. They give it to the slow house or slow horses. And they're the agents that have screwed up somehow. And they're not fired, but they're down doing crap work. And they get crapped on by all the people at MI5. Even Gary Sinise's character gives them crap. But they're his people, so he's going to give them crap because he feels like giving them crap. And he has a very, I don't care about anything. I'm just here to hold y'all's hand and sleep and prop my feet up and do nothing. But he's really the smartest guy in the room. And when she would come to him, they'd go out on this park bench out by the river, and she would talk about some assignment she's got for him, and you need to use your slow house people for this. And he's like, well, if I do this for you, and then he wheels and deals, and then he goes in and tells them, what they're going to be doing. Dexter Original Sin, got a little bit of that. Matlock's great. 911's excellent. Ghosts are always great. This is the British version on Paramount. Paramount has the American version and British version. You got to see them both. School Spirits, fun teen show. Watson's pretty good. We've been slowly watching. Tucci in Italy is now on Disney, on National Geographic. Some of you have seen Tucci's other show, about the same thing, on Max. Chicago Fire, she loves all those Chicago shows. NCIS Origins, Paramount. Fall Guy movie. Rookie, always loved The Rookie. Mid-Century Modern, it's a funny show. We've been watching a few on Hulu. Maddie and George, we have not been watching, but it started up playing. Dr. Odyssey's pretty good. We've been watching that on Hulu. I got some more to go. Watched the recent Doctor Who. And that might be the one on Max that was considered the best episode ever. And I wanted to see it, and then we stopped getting Max. But season 3, episode 10 might be the one. And it was even mentioned in the last season of Doctor Who that he went into this world where people were just watching him on TV. He's like, I'm a character on TV. He goes like, yeah. He said, what about My Last Adventures? Well, did you watch that? Oh, yeah, it was all right. And he's like, what? We love this. And I think they said season 3, episode 10 was their best. They were like, oh yeah, that was the best. Superman and Lois, finished that up. Got a little thing. Doc is a good show. No Taste Like Home, I just gave it a quick try. Wheel of Time. Severance. Can't get into Severance. It's like people call it the #1 show on Apple TV Plus, and I can't get into it. Morning shows on Apple TV Plus. The Irrationals on Peacock, pretty good. Rogue Heroes, started watching, and they had a free, get some more episodes in. I was like, great, on Amazon. Started watching it, and then it jumped because Amazon bought MGM. And then they said it was no longer available, you had to get MGM Plus. And I was like, I'm not paying that. I'll wait for it to be free on Amazon again. Almost Paradise was a guilty pleasure show from that. Krypton, we've been watching. Wrapped up that season. Gladiator 2. Haven't watched it yet. Going to. Beast Games. Had to watch Mr. Beast. It's on Amazon. See what he was up to. I just wanted to figure this out. Kurt Russell and Tim Matheson. I was just wanting to take a peek at it, but I didn't watch it. What If on Disney is excellent. Age of Ice, probably some documentary. Investigators. We haven't watched. We've watched a little bit. It says here we watched a little bit of it. I'm trying to remember if we watched it. Killers of the Flower Moon. We never watched it. Peacock, 2024. Back that year up. Funny. Secret Level, no, didn't watch that. Those About to Die, oh my gosh. Game of Thrones, but during the Roman times. So Help Me Todd, my wife loves that. Sekiro, Taylor Sheridan had a lot to do with that movie, and I watched a little clip from it. Agency, couldn't get into it right away. Fast X, always good. Equalizer, she loves that. Based on a true story, we watched season 1. Frasier was great on Paramount. The new season did 2 seasons, then they canceled. Outlaws, the Guilty Pleasure on that Prime Video. Defenders of Earth, just checked it out. Impact Winter. Audible, I was just checking out Audible. Guardians of the Galaxy, we love that movie. Calling from Accounts is kind of a guilty pleasure on Paramount, an Australian show. The Old Man on Hulu, it's neat, Jeff Bridges' show. Kind of a spy thing. Peacock, action, doesn't even say what it is, does it? Terminal List, pretty good. We haven't seen them all. Just checked out Malcrosa Files because they mentioned it as a foreign show that you could get into, and I watched it and it was all right. There's Dead Reckoning, Mission Impossible. Great. SEAL Team, we watched a few of those. Luther's supposed to be excellent, but we haven't watched it yet. We Are Lady Parts, guilty pleasure. Love We Are Lady Parts on Peacock. Ocean Explorers, Extraordinaries, interesting. Original series, watched a little thing of that. Dirty Jobs. Mike Rose back into more Dirty Jobs. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle animated. Serpent Queen. Band of Brothers is excellent. The Bear, of course, is excellent. Miss Sherlock is a Paramount thing. Tokyo Vice, watch that. A lot of those. We're on episode 4. Voyager, Kung Fu Panda. Look at, just all this stuff goes back. John Adams looked great. I've seen some clips and things, but we haven't watched it all the way through. We watched Franklin on Apple TV Plus. Now, I enjoyed it. My wife thought it was pretty good, but Barry's neat. Barry's really neat on Max, HBO Max. Chernobyl's supposed to be excellent. We haven't watched it all. Suicide Squad. I didn't like it, just saw it. It was anime. I was like, If. We watched If. Garfield movie. Love Garfield movie. Big Sky. Neat show on Hulu. Neat show. Dark Matter. Pachinko is a neat show. We haven't watched them all, but it's a neat show. It's too much to watch. Monsieur Spade had it on something free. AMC Plus. Maybe we had it on AMC. We had it on something. And then it said it wouldn't work again unless you got AMC Plus. I think we got like 3 episodes. So I think now it's on Netflix. There's WWCW 2024. I just watched 25. It should have been listed. Tons of stuff. And it tells you all that history. The wife will tell you the winner is Roku. Okay, so I'm not going to argue. Not going to argue. You guys enjoy your little Rokus. It's a great streaming device. Get what you can afford, as much as you can afford. If you get a Fire Stick, get a Fire Stick. If you got a TV that's a smart TV and it's a new TV, enjoy it as long as you can. If it gets a little janky, can't find certain apps, they're not upgrading. You can tell that it's getting janky. They're not upgrading this app. They're not giving us everything we want. At least you got the main streaming services, the 8 big ones. If you've got that, you're in great shape. And when I say 8, I mean Disney, Prime Video, HBO Max, Paramount, Netflix, Apple TV, Peacock, and Hulu. Those are the big 8 that you have to have. that you're paying for, and rotate those out, and you should be good. You don't need MGM Plus and all that other stuff. Eventually, that'll go on Netflix or someplace. So some of those shows, they'll sell out. So that's what you get. And then you get the free stuff, your Tubi, your Pluto TV, your Roku channel, only on Roku and Fire devices probably, but that's about it. They're still good. So enjoy your streaming. I wobbled the camera again. Yes. Like and subscribe. Right? Share the video with other people. I love Apple TV, but the wife's always right. The Roku is easy, it's simple. Just get it and enjoy it. And if anything goes wrong, have a second one around for the living room. No problem. You got an iPhone, I would get the Apple. You got a Samsung phone like my wife, get the Roku. Done. Have a great day.